Hello, everybody. Welcome to this mid-September astrology update. I am Jocelyn Starfeather. I'm the founder of Sacred Planet, and I'm delighted to bring you this update today. And we're going to talk about lots of exciting things that are happening at this moment. There is a lot going on. We will be completing the Mercury retrograde at almost the same time as the new moon will be happening in Virgo. And so along with that, we also will have a Grand Earth Trine between the new moon, Uranus, and Pluto. And there's more. So let's dive in. I'm going to put the charts up on the screen right now. So give me one moment here. Okay, good. So this is the chart for the exact time of the Virgo new moon. So this will be happening on September 14th. At 9:40 p.m. New York time. And so that is about 6:40 p.m. Pacific time. And if you are in the UK or Europe, that will be early in the day for you on September 15th. So in this chart for the new moon on September 14th, we have both the sun and moon together in Virgo here. So you can see they are both at 21 degrees of Virgo. And this 21 degree point is a very important point in the chart, particularly for you as an individual, if you have a lot of planets or points in any of the earth signs. And I'll tell you why in just a few minutes. But what we can notice about this chart, first of all, is that with the sun and moon together in Virgo, this new moon occurring when the sun and moon come together, right? This happens every month. And the new moon time is an amazing time for setting intentions, for starting new projects, for planting new seeds, beginning new things. Okay. And what's really interesting about this new moon is it's happening at the same time as Mercury, which is right here, very close to this new moon in Virgo. Mercury is just about to go direct. Okay. Mercury will go direct on September 15th. Very shortly after this new moon occurs. Now, with the new moon in Virgo, this new moon is carrying for us very specifically the Virgo themes. So let's talk about what those are, because these are the kinds of intentions that you will be very supported in setting at this new moon. These are the kinds of new projects or new actions you'll be very supported in taking. So first of all, Virgo is really connected to our health. Virgo is about what we do every day, our daily habits, our daily routines, and those daily routines create the state of our health and well-being. So we want to really think about, what do we do repetitively? What do we do every single day? And look at, where do we want to make upgrades there? Where do we want to make changes? Where do we want to make adjustments? So this new moon is happening at the end of a long period where we've had both Venus and Mercury retrograde. And so we really want to look at, what have we learned during those retrograde times, because that is going to inform the changes and adjustments we want to make during this new moon time. Now, Venus went retrograde on July 23rd and stayed in retrograde until September 3rd. So that was one block of learning for us, because whenever the personal planets, Mercury, Venus, or Mars are retrograde, it really impacts us on a very personal level. So when Venus was retrograde from July 23rd until September 3rd, really look back at that time and think about, what were you learning? What were the lessons coming through? What was the new information that was revealed to you that maybe you didn't know before? And that was the Venus retrograde in Leo. Okay, so with Venus in Leo, these are themes about, how can I bring my creativity out more? How can I more fully express myself? And what am I deeply longing for that maybe I don't have yet in my life, but I know I need to bring in so that I can feel happy, so that I can feel fulfilled, so I can feel healthy in my body. So that's our first note here for this new moon, is look back to the Venus retrograde time. What did you learn? What do you know you want to change? And now at this new moon in Virgo on September 14th and 15th, set the intentions for those changes that you want to make. Then we can also look at the Mercury retrograde. So the Mercury retrograde, which was in Virgo, the same sign as the new moon right now, was from August 22nd until September 15th. It's ending right after the new moon. So then look back at those 3 weeks. What did you learn? What was Mercury informing you about? What do you need to redo, rethink, rewrite, recalibrate in your life as a result of the Mercury retrograde? Always when planets are retrograde, things happen in our lives. Maybe something falls apart. Maybe something feels like it was going backwards. Maybe something just really didn't work out. And all of that is happening not to cause us frustration, but actually to bring our attention and bring our focus to something that needs to shift and change. So looking back at really the whole last 2 months, okay, almost, what have you learned? What's been coming through? And set those intentions now at the Virgo new moon. Now, the Virgo new moon is not only about health and our daily routines, but Virgo is also very much about the details of our lives. Okay, so are there details that you need to work on? Do you need to move to a new place? Do you need to change the way you're eating? Do you need to maybe shift your perspective, your mental state of being into a more positive way of thinking, right? What are the details of your life that you want to shift and change? And there's also a deeper level of Virgo that's very important to consider. Now, Virgo, the actual constellation that we see in the sky for Virgo, is the priestess. She is this really beautiful giant constellation of the priestess. She takes up way more than 30 degrees of the zodiac. She takes up a lot of space, and that's amazing. And so this priestess, and this is the deeper layer of Virgo that we don't always hear about, this priestess is reminding us of the importance of ritual and ceremony in our lives. And being in an earth sign, she's reminding us of the importance of spending time on the earth, getting barefoot, laying down on the earth, receiving the rejuvenation that the earth has to offer us, and the healing that the earth has to offer us, and how that can improve our health. And also working with ritual and ceremony to remember what were the practices that the ancient priests and priestesses were doing in the ancient temples, in the ancient sacred sites long, long ago. And how do we maybe want to bring that back into our lives today? You know, so holding a beautiful new moon ritual or ceremony on September 14th, 15th, or 16th would be an amazing way to celebrate this deeper level, deeper layer of the Virgo archetype. So the new moon carries all of those beautiful, life-changing energies of Virgo. And there are also other planets at play here who are interacting with the new moon, which are very important to acknowledge. The really, really big one that stands out in this chart is Uranus. So we can see that the sun and moon are at 21 degrees of Virgo, and this is in a trine. Okay, so 120 degrees apart, 1/3 of the slice of the zodiac pie away from Uranus over here at 22 degrees of Taurus. Now, Uranus has really been calling our attention quite strongly. There's been a lot of Uranian energy, and Uranus represents our liberation and our freedom. Now, in order to help us gain our liberation and our freedom, Uranus will send shocking events, surprising events, things we didn't see coming. Uranus also represents the higher mind and our connection to the cosmic consciousness, the very, very vast, highest consciousness of the cosmos. So when Uranus is involved, and Uranus has really, again, been very, very active all throughout 2022, all throughout 2023. So this is not a new energy to us, but it may be one that is a little shocking or surprising to us, because Uranus can be the energy of huge new transmissions coming through, new revelations in your life, like maybe a new healing ability coming through that you never had before, right? Or maybe a really new understanding about consciousness or how you perceive reality. Uranus, as you know, representing shocking and surprising events, also is connected, particularly being in an earth sign and trine to this new moon in an earth sign, is connected to earthquakes and volcanoes, and other, events that are very catastrophic for us as humans. And so I am sending prayers, and let's all take a moment to send prayers out for anyone who has been affected or is currently being affected by earthquakes or other major earth events. And Uranus is really calling for us to break down the old systems that are not working, whether that's governmental systems, educational systems, medical systems, the old systems that have been in place for hundreds of years or even thousands of years in some cases that are clearly not working. Uranus in Taurus is really calling us to look at these institutions, these systems, these structures of our world that we've always considered to be very stable, that have been there for us for a long time, and recognize what's not working and really shift and change and shake things up in order to make those start working better or bring in the changes and the revolutions that are needed. So this new moon in Virgo being trine to Uranus in Taurus is a big, big energy. And so we will be feeling that in some way. I really think at this new moon, you'll be thinking not only about your daily habits and routines and your health, these are important Virgo themes, but also about the big changes you want to make. Do you need to completely change your careers so that you can be in more alignment with your soul? Do you need to pick up and move to another country because you're just not feeling aligned at all with where you're living anymore? Bigger changes can be on the horizon for us at this time. So if you're feeling that, the invitation from Uranus is don't be shy, really have the courage to leap, because the sooner that we can leap into and embrace what we truly need and step out of our comfort zone and take a big step forward toward our future, the sooner we're going to feel better, the sooner we're going to be able to create all these beautiful Virgo rituals and ceremonies and patterns and routines in our lives that really do feel fulfilling. Sometimes we need to shake things up a lot and make a big change. And that's what Uranus is calling us to at this new moon. Another piece I want to mention here that's very important is that, as you can see, Jupiter and Uranus are very close together. So I told you all about Uranus with this energy of shock and surprise and helping us to find our liberation. Now, Jupiter is the planet that stands for wisdom and expansion and higher knowledge, higher learning, personal growth, optimism, and abundance in our lives. Jupiter stands for a lot of really good things that we need in order to fulfill our highest potential, in order to become, the highest self that we know we're meant to be. So Jupiter and Uranus are moving closer and closer together all this year, and they're going to have a conjunction at 21 degrees of Taurus in April 2024, right in the middle of the month. This will be strongest from April 18th to the 24th, 2024. They'll be pretty much exactly conjunct that whole time. Interesting that is happening at 21 degrees of Taurus, okay? And this new moon is happening at 21 degrees of Virgo, exactly trying that future point where Jupiter and Uranus are going to meet. This is really significant because it's already calling forward the energy of that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. And the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is very much about taking a big leap in our lives and knowing that we will be held safe, knowing that we will be caught by the forces of nature and the higher intelligence, right? And so it's important to know that this transit, this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, is coming up in April 2024. And I think with this new moon happening at 21 degrees of Virgo, our attention is going to be shifted toward Jupiter-Uranus things in our lives. The reason I say it's important to know that it's coming is that this is an extremely powerful and fortuitous transit with Jupiter. Jupiter's considered the great benefic out of all the planets. He's the one that can bring us the highest level of blessings. So with Jupiter coming together with Uranus, we want to be ready to take action. We want to be ready to seize the day around, I would say, all the way from February to June 2024. It's going to be an amazing time to take a big leap in your life, to do something really different that you've never done before, to allow yourself to expand beyond your old limitations and ways that previously maybe you've been held back or been stalled or obstacles came up. This is going to be a chance to leap way beyond all those obstacles from the past. And so at this new moon, it's an amazing time to start dreaming ahead to what is the big new thing that I'm going to be moving into, taking a leap into around February through June 2024, when that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction will be so strong for us. You know, we're already feeling it. We're already feeling it, but this new moon is going to kick off that energy of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction to a whole new level. In addition, in this chart, we have what's pretty close to an exact Grand Earth Trine. So we've already talked about the sun and moon being at 21 degrees of Virgo, trining Uranus at 22 degrees of Taurus. And then look what we have in Capricorn. We have Pluto at 28 degrees of Capricorn. Now that's a big difference. The 28 degrees is, you know, 6 or 7 degrees off from the 22 and the 21 in the other signs. But this is actually still quite significant, okay? Because Pluto holds a really strong energy. Pluto is the energy of life, death, and rebirth, okay? The initiations that we go to in our lives that really change everything, the moments in our lives that have changed everything, right? This can include a dark night of the soul. This can include the moment that we're birthed into a whole new understanding of who we are. Pluto is intense. He works with us in a really strong way. He's working with us very collectively in a strong way now, as he's about to move into Aquarius over the coming year. It's a gradual process. Pluto is really working together with Uranus. Okay, that energy I talked to you about of your liberation. Pluto also wants our liberation, but he works really hard to break down and help us release all that is not working. So we're getting a lot of support from both Uranus and Pluto, these really strong energies at this new moon. It's interesting that Pluto and Uranus are so strong in our collective energy right now. The last time that Pluto and Uranus were so strongly working with us was in the late 60s, okay? Because at that time, Pluto and Uranus were conjunct in Virgo. And so that was a time of rebellion and revolution and leaping into new realities that we had never seen before. It was a time when we were working very much with consciousness and the psychedelic drugs and the music and the concerts and really opening up to completely new realities. And so we're kind of coming back to that same revolutionary energy, that same world-changing energy. And at that time in the late 60s and into the early 70s, you know, there was a lot of talk of just breaking down the social structures and building something new. For some reason, it fizzled out, right? For some reason, I don't know what happened in the 80s. We forgot about that. But now we're back to it. The cosmos is reminding us we do need to break down those old structures, and Pluto and Uranus are guiding the way again and are very strongly present with us at this new moon. So with all of this in mind, see what bubbles up for you, see what feels most important for you. You do want to take a look at your own birth chart if you have access to that and see what house Virgo is in for you. And that will be the area of your life that this new moon is especially working with you. But even if you don't know that, you can go on everything that I have shared here in this astrology update today and set your intentions very strongly for this new moon. The new moon and the 2 or 3 days after it are the best time to set intentions. So you could do that on September 14th, 15th, 16th, even on the 17th, all the way through the weekend will be a great time to set intentions for this new moon. Now, before I go, I do want to tell you about Mercury going direct. And so this is the chart, and we've shifted things a little bit here. Virgo now is at the top of the chart. This is September 15th at 4:21 p.m. New York time. And that will be the exact moment that Mercury changes from going retrograde or backwards as we see his movement from Earth to going forward once again. So if things have felt like they've been on hold for you, or you haven't been able to find solutions, or you haven't been able to move forward with things, that's probably because first Venus went retrograde starting on July 23rd, and then Mercury went retrograde starting on August 22nd. Now that both of those planets are going to be direct, and again, they affect us really strongly because they're both so close to the Earth. Mercury and Venus are very close to the Earth in the grand scheme of the cosmos. So now that they're both going to be going direct again, starting September 15th, and even the day that Mercury changes direction can be a little wonky. So I would say probably starting September 16th, we can really move forward again powerfully. There are some other planets that are still retrograde, but those are more of the outer planets. Okay, so it's important to know that the personal planets are going to be direct again. It is a good time to take personal actions once again. And so, you know, if you've been waiting to sign a contract, if you've been waiting to make a commitment to something, you can really rest assured that if you sign that contract or make that commitment or take that new action on September, possibly on the 15th, preferably on the 16th or 17th or going forward, you will be supported in that because Mercury will be direct, Venus will be direct, and will still be in the new moon energies. So it's a really powerful time to take forward action now. So we do always, when the Mercury retrograde is ending, we want to think about what have we learned over the last 3 weeks, and then shift and change our lives to take action in new ways based on what we have learned. Okay, so that's the astrology update for today. Now I'm going to do another YouTube live very soon on that Uranus and Jupiter conjunction that I talked about that's happening in April 2024. That's just so big. I have a lot more to say about it. So I'll make another video about that soon. So keep an eye out for that. And I hope you've enjoyed this update. Thank you all so much for watching my channel. And be sure to like this video. It really helps me to get it out to more and more people. Make a comment in the comment section below. Tell me, what does this video mean for you? What is happening for you at this Virgo new moon, this really important time? And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That way you can get the notification when I go live. All right, so much love to all of you. I will see you again soon. Blessings. Have a wonderful